The hand in Kuta is different. It's not a fist. And so this is called the Kuta hand. And you probably noticed when I was hitting before that it looked a little strange to you. In the Kuta hand, there's no fist at all. Your fingers, your hand is not closed. Your fingers are loose, so they're going beside your palm. There's none of this. And the thumb is just up on top of your hand. I kind of stick it up a little, but I guess normally they show it with the thumb just lying there. It doesn't matter. Either way works very well. And when you do the strike, your hand this is angled. If you're doing a karate type strike or something, you have to have your hand straight so that you don't see your hand hit with your knuckles. They're hitting with their knuckles. With the Kuta hand, you're not hitting with your knuckles. You're hitting with the backs of your fingers here. So you're hitting all along this area in here. But not, your knuckles may hit, but you're not trying to hit with your knuckles. You want a soft surface to hit. So when you hit the bag, you're hitting it, it's soft, it gives. You cannot, with a Kuta punch, you never punch this way with your hand horizontal, because when you do that, you normally straighten out your wrist. And if you straighten out your wrist with your Kuta hand, the wrist is completely relaxed. There's no tension in it, so it can collapse and break your wrist. So that's something you probably don't want. But when you have your thumb up, you naturally have this curvature at the back of your hand, and so your hand is not going to collapse. You have that curvature because you're hitting with your fingers here rather than with your knuckles. And so a Kuta punch can be done with the thumb up, it can be done with the thumb down, it can be done with the palm up. But to do it in a normal position like most people strike is very dangerous because you're likely to break your wrist. Don't do that. And yes, your Kuta strike is going to be a lot more powerful than you expect it to be. So when you start off easy. Don't hit hard at first. Get used to hitting this way and learn how to hit with the backs of your fingers so that you don't injure your hand. I know when I started, I didn't quite understand it. I didn't understand you don't hit with your knuckles, and I ended up hitting. And in Kuta punch, you don't worry about the front of your hand, whether it's the top knuckles or the bottom knuckles, any of that. You just hit. And so I injured my hand and had to not train for a while. And I have a friend that I introduced this punch to recently, in the last couple of years, and he somehow he injured his hand with it. So start off slow, get the feel of it. It's really very safe. You can hit as hard as you can hit with this, and your hand's not really in any danger. But do start off slow and easy until you learn how to do it so that you're not going to have any danger. So this is your formal way of striking. It's very soft. It's like, I have a military manual that says that if you want to knock somebody out, you fill a sock with dirt and you hit them over the head with it and it knocks them right out. Whereas we know that you see these videos of police hitting somebody with a club, with a nightstick or something over the head, and it just bounces and it cuts them open. I mean, it's nasty looking, blood's going everywhere, but it doesn't shut them down. It doesn't stop them from fighting. So a fist is more like the nightstick, where it's really hard and it has that kind of hard impact that bounces off, whereas the Kuta hand is soft, and when it hits, it sticks and transfers all the energy into the target, and you don't have that bouncing back into your hand. And when you're practicing Kuta, you've seen in these videos I'm using a standing bag. This is the kind of bag they typically use. Typically they have a lot of times they'll attach a flat target to the front of the bag. I've never understood the logic of that, and I don't like messing with it. I think probably one of these bags that's shaped like a person, like a bob or something, is probably a very excellent bag to get. But they're a lot more expensive than this, and this is what I have. So now, in addition to hitting with your hand like this, of course you can strike with a heel palm. Sometimes with a Kuta punch, they strike with the front of these fingers. So a lot of times they'll have a punch that comes like that. They might strike with the back of their hand. You know, you can use a lot of, I don't think Kuta teaches a Shuto type strike, but it works really well. So, you know, if you're, you know, this kind of strike can be used with your Kuta movements. But this is your Kuta hand, and this is probably this strike is the most effective way to use Kuta. Certainly the easiest way, but striking with the end of this bone also works extremely well. So you're hitting with the heel palm or even with the palm of your hand.